Hey guys, today we're going to take a look at figures of speech. We'll discuss what they are in general, some specific examples, and touch on how they may be used in your writing. Let's get started. A figure of speech is defined as words or phrases that are used non-literally for rhetorical effect. Or in simpler terms, we might say a word or phrase that means something different than what it seems to say on the surface. I wrote non-literally in all caps here because that's the most important thing to remember today. Figures of speech are not to be taken literally. Some common examples you may have heard of when talking about figures of speech are similes, which are very common, irony, paradoxes, which can be a little bit confusing, hyperbole, metaphors are another common one that you've probably heard, and puns, which you're probably tired of hearing your dad use at the dinner table. So to start off with in examples, we'll talk about similes. It's probably the most simple figure of speech, and all that it does is make a comparison between two things using the words like or as. So in this quick little example here, we have Jim, and Jim's a real quiet kid. Then on the other side, we have a mouse, which is also very quiet. So if we wanted to use a simile to compare these two, we could say that Jim is as quiet as a mouse, or that Jim is quiet like a mouse. Pretty simple. So we're using like or as in this example. A metaphor is close to a simile, but it's slightly different. A metaphor is a comparison of two things as well, but it does not use like or as. It describes something in a way that's not literally true. So in this example, we have Audrey, who's a bit uncontrollable and dangerous, and we have a loose cannon on the other side, which is also a bit unpredictable and very dangerous. So if we wanted to say that Audrey was acting dangerously, we might say that when she starts getting angry, Audrey is a loose cannon. So in this example, we do not use like or as, but we say that Audrey is a loose cannon. Again, that's not to be taken literally, but that's what the metaphor does. Irony is another figure of speech, and when we discuss irony, we're talking about saying something that's the exact opposite of what is really meant or what's expected. So, for example, with this man in this example, it would be ironic for him to say, "Nice weather we're having," in the middle of a thunderstorm, because he actually means that the weather is very poor, but he's using irony to get a point across. A hyperbole is when something is deliberately exaggerated for added emphasis or comedic effect. So in the picture below, we can see that the man is only really about 100 feet away from his bike, but maybe he's having a bad day or something, and he uses hyperbole to exaggerate and say that his bike is a whole mile away, when it's actually much closer than that. The last figure of speech that we're going to take a look at today is puns. Those exploit multiple meanings of a word or two words that sound similar for humor or rhetorical effect. So in this example here, it takes advantage of two words that sound similar in terrible and terrible. So for example, do you want to hear a joke about paper? Never mind, it's terrible. So you can see that on both ends, it is able to tear, and the joke is terrible. So that's it for today. That's what we have. There's 5 examples of different figures of speech. And the big thing to remember and take away from this is that these are not meant to be literally interpreted. They're intentionally used non-literally to make a point or to be humorous sometimes. So thanks for watching.